leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up. Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Car era lore. Call me Levi playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. Sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain. Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then hit up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does us a real solid and warms up the room, warms up the algo. We're back today. No technical issues. We're just rocking with Bluetooth and powering through the failure of 17 different aux cables. But here we are, as always. I'm Cap Jim, I'm my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exceptionally risky. Go to zero moments notice. Please don't put any money in you can afford to lose. Know that Steve and I will likely hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here on the show. We are not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, education along the way. GM Steve, how you going, sir?
GM doing well. GM to all the chattors out there. Von Frunten coming back for the crown after traveling a little bit. Teacher Katie out there as well. Machiavelli getting going. Yeah, Cap has not been wearing a lot of sleeves, Von Frunten, because Cap is he's in the gym and he's feeling himself. And look, I
can't do hoodies. It's way too hot right now. Like we are peak Florida summer, and I can wear hoodies down here like 9-10 months out of the year. And I don't like, if it's not a hoodie, I don't know. I might have like 3 shirts that actually have sleeves. So
yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna blow your mind. There's a thing in between sleeveless and hoodies, and it's called a t-shirt. But no, man. I support the boys. I support the boys for doing what they got to do. You're working out. You're looking good. You should be going sleeveless, my friend. I would be too.
Brief convo with the gym crush this morning at the gym. She randomly pops in my Instagram feed this past week. So I told her this at the gym and had a little convo over that. But I don't know if it's a good sign, bad sign, but yeah, just randomly some other video. I'm not even gonna say what it was because it would signal. But Yeah, just a random, not even an account I follow. I'm like,
you have to send it to me. Will you text it to me for research purposes? Obviously, purely for scientific research purposes.
Like it's nothing's going to come of it. I'm going to be just out myself here. I'm like a pretty like a confident individual. Like I not really shy. And the one thing I have never done in my entire life, and I might have to do it just so I can say I have. I've never in my life dated someone taller than me, Steve.
Is she tall?
She's 6'1".
6'1". Whoa, Cap.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably just gonna keep that one at the in the gym, whatever. But no, I don't know. I digress. But yeah, I've never I'm 6 foot and I've just never, I don't know, probably the tallest. I'm trying to think now that I said this, like, I don't know if I've ever even dated anyone like close to my height.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's
nothing against tall people or tall women. It's just it'd be uncharted territory for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's well, I mean, good luck on that. Like I said, send me your Instagram for research purposes. I won't embarrass you or do anything. I just want to make sure.
I mean, have her Instagram. That's the thing. We haven't even connected on Instagram. It was just like, it was truly a random video. She was being interviewed in a random video that popped in my feed. I kind of didn't even follow. I'm like, I don't know if this is a sign or what, but I'm going to tell her. And yeah, there we are.
Good opening.
Also I had a great lunch meeting yesterday. The war room got brought up. Or the war room, I had to do a search in the war room to show something from the war room during a lunch meeting. So there's that. My worlds are colliding, Steve.
Yeah, everything's coming together, man. It's a little weird, but we're doing our thing. Yeah, I mean, not a ton of cold open stuff for me today. I mean, we can get right into it, but I will say I am feeling.
I don't know what's going on. For those watching video, you're gonna see it. Like, is this these lines? Is this new? It's never been there before, so I have no idea.
Yeah, technical difficulties all around. So I am two things. Well, actually, I'm not going to get into one of them just because it's kind of weird. I'm going to get into a different one though. Man, ordering equipment. I talked to ChatGPT about ordering. So I have a mic cover. You know these mic covers we have for the Shure mics? Like mine's kind of dirty. So I went to order a new one. I asked ChatGPT for it. I don't know if it's showing up on camera. I have the weediest mic cover of all time.
Weediest? What do you mean by weediest? I've never heard this.
Weenie.
Like, yeah. like WNBA weenie? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, look at it. So look, this is thick and good. Watch. So look at this. Look at it.
Like, I mean, it is like, I don't know why, but another video that popped in my X timeline was apparently there's someone that follows Jonah around on streams and asks to see his foreskin. Have you seen this video?
No, and I didn't mean this in that way. By weenie, I simply meant this is thick, strong, the right size for the mic.
You're still describing it as a weenie to me. Like, I don't know what else you mean by why you use the word.
Your head's
weenie.
in the gutter. You're watching too many WNBA games with the court and everything.
I can't believe I didn't bet on this happening again. It was the easiest money, like in the history of betting markets, that was going to happen at least one more time. I'm probably going to shove on it today if it's still like 33% to happen, because, like, honestly, if it doesn't happen by August 10th, I'm not above going to a WNBA game and doing it myself. Like, it's like the guy who hit is there going to be a streaker at the Super Bowl, and he was the streaker. Like, some of these prediction markets are getting a little silly when the bettors themselves can settle the bet whichever way they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, prediction markets in general, I think are going to be, I think prediction markets in general are going to be a problem in that way, because
NBA players are getting and MLB players are getting skewered, and the feds are coming after them for fixing like professional sporting events that you would think it's a little more difficult to fix, but like throwing something on the court, that's like anyone could do that. Tens of thousands of people, any game could be the deciding factor there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a very weird thing, weird happenings in the WNBA right now.
Like, I don't have any cool open material, so we're talking microphone, head cover weenies, and WNBA dildos.
Yeah, I'm also trying to figure out. I tried to LP some Pengu today, And I thought I sent $500 worth with a equal USDC in their side, and it's showing that there's 397 in the pool with $500 of USDC. So I'm not sure what happened there. Pengu didn't instantly flash crash, and there shouldn't be a big deal there. So I'm also trying to figure that action out, but I'll have to look on that and go through deep on the blockchain. Maybe my first big liquidity dumb move, because I was just trying to LP a little Pengu and no idea what happened there.
Wait, Mesh, you thought I'm 5'8"? I'm not a short king. I'm 6 foot tall. I could be 6'1" in boots.
If Cap's 6 foot tall, I'm 5'11".
No offense to short people out there, but I'm kind of offended that Mesh thought I was 5'8".
Yeah, he thinks you give little guy energy, I guess. If Cap's 6 foot tall though, I'm 5'11" because I'm 5'10" and Cap is about an inch taller than me. So, but keep holding that 6 foot tall line because it's important.
I will get a measure out and do this on the show to prove
6'1" in boots is a hilarious line of a guy who really wants to be over 6 feet. By the way,
I said that today. She didn't laugh.
Yeah, I can be 6'1" in stilts. But I mean, I'm not super short. It's crazy. I'm a kid who literally would go to the doctor and it was 5'11", and from sitting my whole life, I have become 5'10". And it is sad. Maybe even 5'9" at this point.
They got surgery. They can extend several inches to if you want to go through that painful surgery, I guess.
I don't care if I'm short. I am happily married and not caring about it. I'm not. I don't. You know what the truth is? People make a big deal, and you hear this big thing, because reality TV, the sort of women on reality TV will be like, oh, 6 foot or taller, or 6'1" or taller, whatever that thing is. I personally, I think when you're in public places with people, you don't really realize if someone, especially a man, is between the sizes of let's call it 5'8" and 6'1". If they're standing right next to each other, sure. But if you're in a group of guys where there's 5 of them ranging between 5'8" and 6'1", everyone feels about the same height. It's not like it's that big of a difference. Now, my friend who's 6'4", it's noticeable. So anyway, people getting big on that. But let's rock into it a little bit. I know we got a couple things here. I need to figure out what happened with my Pengu LP because I basically lost. I basically screwed myself on this LP and lost $100 somehow on the deposit, and I have no idea how that happened.
Oop, I lost audio. Maybe not.
Oh, actually, it looks like actually, I take that back. Now I'm looking at my wallet. It looks like somehow it let me deposit the liquidity pool unbalanced and let me put in $500 and only $400 for the Pengu. Weird. Anyway, we'll see. We'll play around.
The colada, great question, Katie. How many shots did you do for lunch? So, trick question or trick answer, I guess, because I've never had usually coladas are you get a colada, it's in a small styrofoam cup for $3. It's the cheapest, greatest coffee in the history of the world. Yeah, this was at a Cuban restaurant, and it was a actual cup of colada. It said 5 shots in it. Pretty sure it was more than 5 shots. So, and I did share it. The person who joined me for lunch, she'd never had colada before, so I poured her a shot. So I would say probably the accurate answer, if you believe the 5 shots, but it was $9. I've never paid $9 for a colada because it was very big. But I think it was more than 5 shots. So I would say I had more than 5 myself. But if you believe the menu that it was only 5 shots, then I had 4 would be my estimate. So anyone I set the over under at 6.9, anyone who took the under would have hit that. Had she there was a good chance I would have went back for a second one if but as you know, anyone who's never had colada before, that first one hits you pretty. You're like, what did this guy? Is this what does this guy just give me? Right? Yeah, probably 4, I think is the correct answer.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's bizarre. By the way, I looked at my soul scan just as a side note. I don't understand this. Someone will have to explain this on LP to me. Sorry, I'm not trying to derail your colada with Captain. But I just looked back. I didn't lose any money on this transaction. Somehow, the pool let me deposit $397 worth of Pengu and $500 of USDC. And maybe it just had the mispriced. My guess is it mispriced the Pengu somehow on the site in some way, and it thought that that was an equal trade because Pengu's down a little bit and it's not updated. But I need to update my spreadsheet so that I don't have the wrong numbers in there. But in any case, Cap, I have a couple items. What is on your tick list today? Do you want to call what do you got on your tick list today, actually, before I jump into it?
Go ahead.
So I mean I've got I'm trying to actually find my tick list, which is why I'm stalling.
I mean, one thing. So first, I got two things that I can, if you need some stall time. One, Bold is, I'm going to say it again. Bold is our generation's people. You know what I'm probably going to buy? Like an NFT that I would buy. I think I might. Do you know what he charges for his one-on-one commissions?
Probably a lot, because I think his what's it called? Because I think like when he was selling his own NFTs, they were on his things, which I think he should sell. I think it was like they were like going for well over an ETH. So, which is the type of thing I would buy. I actually have thought this too, though. You're thinking about a Bold one-of-one commission, is what you're saying, for your PFP?
He's awesome. Like, I just want to own some of his art. It's fun. He's funny. I enjoy it. His commentary in the space, he's the best in the game. Like, people is people, and no one's ever going to take people away from him. And he started the daily art thing. Like, much respect. Incredible. His stuff's like it's funny sometimes. It's also like just like way
Rude.
out there and crude and WNBA-ish stuff. We probably should, like, if you don't know what we're talking about, just Google WNBA, and there's, long story short, fans started throwing dildos on the court, which is about as 12-year-old-ish as you could get, but there we are. Anyways, I digress. Coinbase, one of their interview questions yesterday, which was exactly what you see on the top. How much did I earn? 0, because you can't withdraw. It's funny. Like, I chuckled. Yeah, I would like to own. I think it's underpriced. Like, I'm gonna go buy an open edition right now. Like, you can get it for 0.0072. Does he have other stuff? Is it just the open edition and the custom one-of-ones?
Is the open edition from him specifically? Because I am not, because like I don't remember him doing an open edition, but I do remember he had it might be super rare. I can't remember where it was, but he was selling pieces at one point, some of his little everydays.
I'm pretty sure it's his. I'll double check before I do anything, but
I mean, in any case, he's great. I'd say just DM him and ask him for a commission and see how that goes. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Like, if I ever sell my ape, that's what I would do. I'd probably have him commission this, a personalized version of this, and I would rock that as the PFP.
Yeah, the other thing, so let me I don't know. The other thing I want to comment on the Coinbase thing is, like, I don't know, man. Like, Coinbase, like, they're kind of back to being kind of like, I think, normal and good and all those good things. But like, who saw like a Facebook post from like their Aunt Phyllis and said that's a banger, trying to do simple math? Like, it's like when I see the simple math Facebook post where they have parentheses and people don't know, like PEMDAS, like it's like the actual post he's making fun of I saw from Coinbase. I'm like, this is what we're doing now. We're talking about like we're doing basic word problems, that everybody on Facebook either intentionally gets wrong or unintentionally gets wrong because they don't understand like the order of operations. Like, I actually don't understand why Coinbase is putting out that tweet in the first place, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, Cap, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Bode Leonidas, for sure. And I would definitely do a one-on-one of his if I had the Skrilla to do so. But I'm already scraping pennies together because I'm doing all this DeFi stuff. Speaking of which, before we get into a couple of topics today,
I'm guessing ETH or more would be my guess, but I've never inquired.
I'm sure it is, and it's well worth it because he is great. And I love his work.
I wonder, like, why do you think he doesn't put out more art? Like,
I mean, he's minted a bunch. I got to look at like what the site is, but like he has like couple hundred something on there where you could buy like one of his art. I needed to find it. I saw when one of them was going up and it went for like, I don't know, 1 to 2 ETH or something, maybe even over 2 ETH. I can't remember. So, but yeah, he's the best, man. I like it.
I'm looking at his link tree now. So he's got GM 2023 Open Edition, the Crypto Mall 2024 Open Edition, Meme Coins 101, the 2025 Open Edition, and then he's got one-of-one collections on Foundation art.
Foundation, that's his one of ones. So you can see what those sold for on there.
Yep.
So I'd assume you could price PFPs around there, and plus a custom probably takes some time.
Out of my range.
Yes, exactly.
The lowest one right now is 7.7 ETH. Then you go to 69.69, 69.42. Those are the only three listed.
Yeah, I'd love to have him commission both a banner and a PFP, but Diablito, tell Bold you'll PFP at unlike Beast ICO. Speaking of which, I pinned to the top. As I'm starting the DeFi thing, Beast was nice and actually got in my mentions and offered to do a space with me. So if you are looking to learn about DeFi and you're in the beginners, I pinned to the top a space that I'm doing. Already got a lot of people registered for it. It's going to be right after this show on Friday at 10 a.m. Beast and I are going to rip it up together, and I'm going to ask him some very simple, basic questions. If you don't know what you're doing, jump on there and figure it out. But these are the PFP ones that he's done.
Yeah, and these are like custom. So it'd be weird to buy someone else custom PFP too. So like even if like even if right. 0.77 ETH, I wouldn't buy someone else's PFP. It's just weird.
Right, but he has the other ones that are not commissions that are good. But yeah. But yeah, if people want to learn DeFi, by the way, like, you know, because like it was funny because like, yeah, like Diablo just said, tell Bold you'll PFP it on like ICO Beast and me Friday, 10 a.m. Right after the show. Anybody who wants to ask the silly questions, jump on, and we will we'll try to make it really basic and start from there. So I've been trying to figure out a lot of stuff there, and I have some new positions this morning as well, including that Pengu position. So but yeah, Cap, that was on my list today, just to let people know about that space. So if you want to come through and learn on there, I'm going to try to do a little bit more of that. The other thing I want to throw out is, you know, I know, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Before we go into market update, I'm going to do a more you know, because I think it's going to inspire a discussion to get people's opinions on a couple of things. So I'm going to do more you know by ENS real quick.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
It's time for the more you know, brought to you by ENS. And actually, I want to talk about something that we saw after this show. Takashi Murakami. Probably a little bit of discussion to be had today where people got upset at some language he had in a tweet, and some people even calling him a grifter. But for people who don't know, he rose to global fame with his bold, smiling flower motifs blending high art with Japanese pop culture. In 2022, he entered Web3 with Murakami Flowers, a collection of roughly 11,000 NFTs featuring his iconic floral designs. Holders of Murakami Flowers received multiple free airdrops. The Lucky Cat Coin Bank, which ended up going for, I believe, I don't have the exact cash on that on secondary, Geisha number 21, which is a commemorative NFT tied to a Tokyo event airdropped later that year. On top of the fact, they received several airdrops and opportunities as CloneX holders of his particular brand. In fact, some shoes that were going for well above market value if you held that particular variation of the DNA that gave people the opportunity to earn there. In total, Murakami Flowers holders received quite a bit for holding, showing his commitment to rewarding early collectors. More recently, though, Murakami returned with his 108 Flowers Revisited, a trading card style NFT collection on base. Easy to mint, no crypto expertise needed. Continues his style of bridging traditional art and technology in a playful, collectible form, but not without critique. His tweet got a few people hot under the collar, and some people, again, even calling him a grifter. So
I call him a grifter. I agree. We're on the complete opposite sides of this. It's not him. It's whoever's running his NFT division is grifting. It's cash grab. Like I respect him as an artist. I don't respect how he's navigating the NFT space currently. And more importantly, like taking shots at other artists who didn't leave. It's just bad form, man. It's just really poorly done. The post was bullshit.
I think the post wasn't. So I think the language in the post could have been better for sure. Like
it was awful. Like he left and came back when things started heating up again. Like he left and now he's back. And yeah, like Odeka said, I feel like he sold his account. I don't think he sold his account. I think he has someone managing NFTs or his, including his crypto Twitter, and they took a shot at all the other artists here. Like, F you, man. Like, I'm never buying a Takashi Murakami digital asset. I would much rather go support someone like Rafik or someone who didn't leave and continue to build here. And like taking shots at other artists, that's just not the way. At best, it lacks tact. At worst, it's a grifty cash grab. Like, it's just, the whole thing is really poorly done, in my opinion. And I think he deserved the pushback he got.
Yeah, I think the language deserved the pushback. I don't think calling him a grifter makes sense. I don't think it's grifty. Like, first of all, nobody has to buy. Second of all, if he was a grifter, he would have not done airdrops. He would have not collaborated with CloneX. He would have just said, I'm going to continue to release my own collections and do open editions till the cows come home. He came back and he did a $5 NFT that people are welcome to buy or not buy. He's done airdrops for free rather than actually charge people for them. I think the language was poor, but even during times when people were bashing NFTs, he said that I want to continue to do this, even though he would get interviewed about like, oh, you got into those grifty NFTs. How does it feel about a traditional artist? You really got. And he'd be like, no, I think there's still promise there. I'd like to continue to do it. So I don't think he's a grifter. I think the language was lame. I think he probably, if I was guessing, him and his team are probably frustrated because there are a lot of traditional art world people who came in and did leave and said that, oh, this is really stupid. But I wouldn't say that I think the grifter conversation is probably a little bit aggressive. I think the way he used his language was poor. I would agree with that. It's surprising to call somebody who released a collection.
It's the cash grab mint. I just don't, there's nothing to it. Everything about this specific mint seems cash grabbing. I'm not minting, but like could have been announced and presented differently and have different thoughts, maybe. But when you're going to come in and take shots at other artists in this space, but those are two separate things. You're conflating. He already released this set. He already released the 108 flowers. Now they're like revising him, putting him in a pack, and I don't know, man. It's just
so it's like when the Kalinosaurs released packs. Was that cash grabby?
No, because it was an entirely different collection. And
I mean, it's like I think like there's two separate conversations there, and I think they're being conflated, with one conversation being, I didn't like what he said, would agree with that. Cash grabby because he released a open edition NFT collection in partnership with Base to try to get people who maybe aren't already here and giving access with $5 mints instead of, thousands upon thousands of dollars, people who are or aren't in Web3. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's not necessarily, like, I wouldn't call that cash grabby. Like, I think we're on a slippery slope with what we are calling artists at that point. If they're releasing variations of their work, like Bold Leonidas has open editions, like you're not being like, damn, Bold has open editions. That's super cash grabby. Yeah, I know. But okay. But again, this is the whole point of the conflation of two separate conversations here. One conversation is he's taking shots at other artists, and that's lame. The other conversation is that something's cash grabby. And I think, like, just like we use the word rug and grift and all these different things way too loosely in this space, I think calling a cash grab where someone is a $5 mint that you can choose to mint or not mint, which is accessible, who has been through it with NFTs, who is talking about NFTs in the traditional art world, who is talking about it in interviews when people are bashing them. I think calling that cash grabby doesn't feel good to me. And I think it's like making exceptions to the rule, which I don't like doing. Like, I don't like when people like decide based on, I don't like this person, therefore this is a cash grab. Like, I think it's fine to say like poor use of language, agree with him, talk to traditional artists all the time who are still in the space. Bad way to go about it. Cash grab grift, like, I don't know, for a guy who did Airdrop.
His last collection that was also called 108 Flowers NFT has done 0.1485 ETH in volume on a supply of 228. And it re-released this 108 NFT Flowers packs, and these are selling for 50 cents. Like, he's one of the most acclaimed artists live today, and they're dropping $5 packs with it's just like there's a million things he could do in NFTs with the technology and do like push forwards like the art, and instead he's just like repurposing something he's already done and dropping them as a cheap pack. And yeah, like maybe I take it different if it's announced and his wording is a little more tactful, but I think
that says all it is right there. If like he announces it in a different way and like says it differently, you think it's not a cash grab versus the way he talked about it. It is like,
I think he had someone really poor during his NFT launches.
I think the person who he's working with on his social side is really poor.
I think that person is probably cash grabbing.
That's possible. That's fair. Like that person's taking advantage of.
Yeah, I think that person is. So yes, I don't think Takashi is cash guy. The guy doesn't need $50,000. I wouldn't think. I think whoever he has running his NFTs is being extremely opportunistic in tarnishing his brand and doing harm. Like this is the kind of stuff that prevents traditional artists from getting into digital art, in my opinion, is they work with advisors, consultants, go-to-market people that are overly opportunistic and grift from the artist. It's like, yeah, everything about this just screams like I have zero, like I would maybe like to own some Takashi art, but none of this stuff. Like this is just, I think he's got someone really bad that is just viewing this NFT drop as like, oh, I get 50% of any money we bring in. So I'm going to go make 25 grand off of a, something I can quickly spin up in a low effort mint.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I again, like, I think we're probably going to end up like circling the drain on this one, because I don't think that I don't find him to be cash grabby. I don't find his actions in Web3 to be cash grabby, but, I think that, to your point, had he had different language, people would be like, oh my God, he's back, all these other things. It's just, as a guy who
it just seems like zero effort other than taking some art that he already had and putting it in packs. And like even Steve in the comments, like, oh, it's a TCG format. Like he could have done that, but I don't think that's what this is. Unless I'm misreading it. It's like mimicking a TGC format, but there's nothing there. It's just, you're going to buy these things for $5 and you might be able to sell them for, 50 cents each. So $2.50, your $5 is going to go to $2.50 later. Like, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's anything I do believe it dilutes his brand and tarnishes his reputation in Web3.
I don't think it dilutes his brand. I think the language was less than ideal. I don't think it tarnishes his personal brand in general. I think people in Web3 don't like the language, but I think I think we're getting like really over our skis with like, it dilutes the art, it's bad. It's like, he's selling $5 packs so people can buy or not buy if people want to own a piece of his art. Artists do this sort of thing all the time where they drop, less expensive collections or opportunities for people to buy. It's like buying a print. If someone sells prints, it's not like it's cash grabby to buy a print at the art museum. It's just, it's a different variation of it. So, people can choose to or not to, but I don't think I think like when people let me put it this way. I think people being like, oh my God, cash grab, grifter. It's like, for a guy who released art in the space, evangelizes NFTs in the traditional art world, including at traveling art exhibits that go to major museums, and a guy who released free airdrops when he didn't have to his community, and a guy whose, CloneX DNA was printing people money, I think it's a little silly to call him a grifter because of a collection that he dropped, which is effectively the equivalent of a print. Like, I don't think when artists release prints of their art, it makes them grifters. I don't think it makes them scammy. It's like, artists' work is their art. It's how they make money. It's how they do things. Like, if I release more content, I'm not grifting releasing more content because I'm trying to give more things and more access to more people. Like, it's not a one-to-one analogy, but it's the same idea as like, these are prints. Buy a print or don't buy a print. If a traditional artist sells trading cards of their own art and people can buy them, and they'd be like, that's a cool novelty. I have trading cards of my favorite artists that I got at the art museum. That's a cool little thing they released. That's a little bit different. But if it's done on the blockchain, it's grifty. It's just, that part doesn't feel great to me. Like, if a traveling art exhibit or an art exhibit at a art museum, you go to the gift shop and you see a print or a deck of playing cards, you're not sitting there saying like, oh my God, what a cash grab by this artist. You're like, okay, like, either I want that or I don't. Cool or not cool. So I think that if we want to be taken seriously in the traditional art world and we want to be called traditional art, then calling it grifty to release more things where it's like, again, a $5 pack. Again, I don't think you would go to an art museum and get a $5 pack of traditional art and be like, oh my God, what a grift. So I think people get a little bit over their skis on this thing. And I don't know, we get really self-righteous in this space sometimes. And I don't think that it does us any favors, particularly with the traditional art world.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe grift is the wrong word, but it very much feels like a cash grab with whoever's leading there.
So again, so if you were at an art museum and you went to the gift shop with one of your daughters and there is a set of playing cards or a set of cards or a print from a piece of art you saw in the museum, would you be like, oh my God, what a cash grab grift for that artist?
If this is how they announced it, like everyone else, I'm the only one creating art anymore. Yeah, I would like, this is an idiot. This is like this is just poor. Like, I mean, it's clearly an AI slop to launch something. It's just very low effort. Like,
you don't see the difference between not liking the language someone used and calling them a grift or cash grab. Like, you don't see that like as the nuance that like, so like, again, you see,
I believe if you're saying something that is not true, that I have trouble. Like, this is like this is factually incorrect. He's stating it as fact, and therefore I have a hard time believing anything else that's said. Like, it's a horrible statement. And look at, I mean, he's getting lambasted in the quote. Look, quite strange to make this statement. You come into the space, make a few million, then leave. Now you come back, then say I never left. What exactly about this collection is blockchain? You could have just made the real sets. No, I think people would have liked that more probably. Probably would have, like, if they were actually $5 cards in a museum, that's more meaningful. That there's effort in that. If you want cutting edge, I reckon it's good to look at what's actually possible. Your art is dope, worldwide recognized. You can do so much more than what you show here. And besides that, you actually have the influence to drive adoption. And the budget to do things unlike we've seen. But you missed the mark here. Sorry, I'm pretty sure you could talk to anyone here in the comments for feedback. And basically, this is all, most of the feedback is similar. Like, the wording is just like, it's really poor. So don't call it a grift, don't call it a cash grab. This is not doing any favors for digital art by talking like this. It's like, it's a bunch of buzzwords and bullshit. It's like, be better, man. If you're a world-renowned artist, be better. This is not helping. This hurts this space, in my opinion.
I don't think it hurts this space. I think that's hyperbole, but I do think that I agree with the language part, but I just think there's two separate things that people are upset about the language. And then I think there's a larger issue that people want us to be taken seriously as art and collectibles, but when art and collectibles get dropped, people are like cash grab grift. And like, I don't know, like, I don't like that particular piece of it because, you know, the analogy I just gave, again.
You know what? Okay, maybe I'm being too hard with my word choices. I respect other artists in this space. I take offense. I'm not an artist. I take offense to his language. Like Betty says here, I loved your art for years before NFTs. You're a person that inspired many creatives and artists here. Please don't insult those creatives by overlooking their contribution to on-chain art over the years with sweeping statements about how you're the only one in the art world putting out NFTs. Like, it's just like, everything about it is just really poor. And yeah, you can't come in and take shots at people here and expect to be supported by people here.
Yeah, that part sucks. That's what I'm saying. Like, that part sucks. Like, that part sucks because he's like, I think my guess, again, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. My guess is that because I agree with the language is shitty. My best guess on it is that he has been doing interviews about NFTs for the better part of 3 years and getting killed on. I mean, I pulled one up where, like, there are headlines. If you look for him with NFTs, you'll find multiple headlines of large media organizations basically crapping on him for being in NFTs in the first place, and him saying, no, I kind of still believe in this. I still think this is I still think this is a viable thing. I think traditional art. I think the next frontier. I want to push it. His feeling is probably that it's, like,
here's someone who's a collector. What about the old deck? I have 2 packs unopened. Are they still in the game, or you discarded the January release just to print and sell new ones? By the way, open your eyes. You're not alone. There are many good artists. launch NFTs. However, they do it sustainably, I hope, while you only try to extract from your poor admirers.
Again,
Again,
Teagle also asked me what airdrops that Murakami Flowers got, which there were multiple. So that's the other thing. It's like, I don't know if, like, I know Teagle's a collector, but like was in the mentions asking about the free airdrops. And so like, clearly not like familiar with that. Again, like we're not disagreeing on the language. I agree with all these comments on the language. I agree with all the comments on what he said and how he said it. Again, if I'm putting myself in issues, it's probably you're getting killed in the traditional art interviews about being involved in NFTs. And so you feel that way. It's the wrong point of view. It was poorly worded. I was just trying to break up the two subjects because I think people being like, oh, it's a cash grab grifty thing. Like, it's sort of along the same lines as people saying wag me. But then when traditional brands were coming in and trying to like experiment in the space, even for free, and it was, oh, well, these brands are grifting and haha, and let's make fun of them. It's like, apparently wag me is not everybody. It's like, I don't know if we want to be taken, like, I don't like the language. I agree with every part of that. I also don't agree
think
with
artists should operate more intentful in the space, and they shouldn't just randomly put out stuff. Like we were just talking about Bold, who's doesn't have near the reputation of Takashi, and he's much more intentful about the work he puts out. If you're a collector of someone's art in this space, you want them to be intentful. Like part of the value of blockchain tech is you can see all this stuff. You know how much is in supply, or how much supply is in circulation. Like it's just like I'm not saying this is a cash grab for him. I'm not saying he's a grifter. I do believe whoever he has advising his NFT division is grifting off the NFT space because they got to deal with Takashi. And so now it's like, how can I extract as much money as humanly possible because I have this deal with Takashi?
Yeah, I'm not one to tell artists how to art, so that's just me. Like, I'm not going to tell them like what they should and shouldn't put out or whether they should sell prints or decks or anything like that. My personal opinion is that like I think if we want, and like most NFTs are going to be cheap or low cost, and if we want to be taken seriously, we should also be open to the idea that there's going to be cheap and low cost opportunities that exist like that. Like that's my take on it. It's not, again, not saying that he's doing things the right way by the way he talked. I agree with that point. But again, I think to your point, separating those two things is important. And like even saying like, oh, it's not intentful enough. It's like, again, so an artist who sells a print in a gift shop is not intentful enough. Like if artists are making money, or, if somebody has a bunch of prints that they're selling in Savannah on the street, like all of a sudden that's a bad thing. Like, oh my God, like why are you grifting and cash grabbing? You have 4 prints of the same thing in your shop. Like that doesn't feel very intentful.
This space is different where he, like with no communicate, launched basically the same collection in January. It didn't do well. 6-7 months later, with no communication, just launches the same collection again, repackaged, and starts with bashing other people in the space with no, like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's more to the story here than just him releasing new art. Like I agree. It's very arrogant, and I don't think it's him. I think whoever he has doing this on his behalf is absolutely looking at this as an extractive mint.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're going in circles because we're going back to the point that I agree it's a lame thing to say, but I guess we're just going to disagree on like the use cases of NFTs and how people are going to be able to distribute them to various audiences. And, again, nobody's forced to hit mint, nobody's forced to collect. And if you reach people outside of the space who end up getting prints of your things, it's like
Odeka adds, there are rumors that people are using him in his art the same way they did Stan Lee. And he doesn't really know what's going on with crypto Twitter and the NFT part of it. And I think that's the same. I would guess that's probably accurate. I think he's getting used. So it's not him. There's a middleman, a middle person in between here that is using him and extracting from crypto natives.
Yeah, that would be sad.
I think that's accurate. That'd be my guess. Everything I've seen and read, and I'm not a collector, so like probably shouldn't comment on it. But yeah, everything that I've seen and looking into this, I do think with pretty high likelihood that there's someone between him and these mints that's using him and that is extracting from this space.
That would be sad, like, because that happened to Peter Max at the end of his life. It's happened to other artists where it's like if you're a big artist, somebody around you has you releasing things, and that would be sad for sure. For sure that would be sad. So I don't know. I just my big thing, I'll leave it on, and we could just kind of leave it at is I just think we need to be careful with how we immediately snap react to things. Again, language and how he should be acting and things like that is one thing. Like what Betty reacted there, great. I think Betty's response was spot on. The language and how we use things, but then if we make real world analogs, but we're like NFTs are just like digital versions of this. However, this is not okay and this is not okay. It's just I think we sometimes set rules in stone that I don't love, and it feels gatekeepy at times that I am not the biggest fan of. So just my thoughts on that.
I also sense, based on reading the comments, that there's a lot of disappointed, frustrated collectors who have supported him. And, carries some weight. Like, people are like big time mad. Insane statement to make after the last F up with all the other collections. And I'm not even talking about Artifact. Like, it's just, I don't think he's navigated. It's disappointing. I'll say that. Grift is too hard. Cash grab, I don't know that for a fact. I believe it's probably a cash grab by whoever's managing this. But I think how he's operated in this space is very poor to poor.
Yeah.
For all that he could do. Like, could be bringing a lot of positive attention to the space. And I just don't think this is it. It's disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, again, like the fact that my mom literally called me and said, like, hey, me and your uncle, both in their 60s, 50s, and 60s, are talking about NFTs because of his traveling art museum exhibit. I think that that's a positive thing when they see NFTs, and my mom has a conversation with my uncle about it. So I don't know. I think there's probably positives and negatives to be had.
His community, like, just doesn't, like, I don't know. Like, I could dig more into it, but yeah, I haven't seen a single person that's been involved in his other previous mints that thinks he's doing a good job.
D's said so. I mean, that's one. And not only D's, there's been some other people, but there's also some others who have been involved who are not. But definitely. Again, I just think we need to be like I don't know. I think we can just be like a bunch of piranhas in this space sometimes in various like ways that we overcorrect on one side or the other. Like there is a correct reaction to the language. I think the way we sometimes, again, the example I'll give, I think Pepsi was a really good example. Pepsi alongside Vayner, a very real NFT involved, Web3 involved firm. Pepsi came in a few years ago, did a free mint, and didn't have any royalties, meaning they didn't make any money on this thing. They were just trying to experiment and understand the technology. Got lit up as grifty and cash grabby when they weren't grifting nor cash grabbing. That's the type of stuff we do in this space sometimes. And it's like, it makes it super unwelcoming. I agree with the language critique. I'm not saying that shouldn't be, and I'm not saying he's the perfect example there, but like we go from saying that to being like, I mean, look, I had a person, because I had a Bored Ape PFP, yelling that I was a scammer and a grifter because I thought that Barstool NFTs would make a lot of sense with the PFP because they have such a sense of identity tied to them. And that's the type of language you get sometimes in this space from people. So I think when we eat ourselves alive, agnostic of this particular spot, when we eat ourselves alive, it doesn't do us any favors outside of this space. So it's just, I don't know. It's a whole different, like, I guess to me, it probably triggered a larger conversation, which probably is a me issue as much as anything else outside of this isolated thing. Like, I'll admit I have a particular bias towards this because I think when we eat ourselves alive, it's a bad thing. So I think there's just a larger conversation about the way that we invite or handle things here at times where we're really happy to have Jason Derulo on his space or talk to Haktua and let them do things. But like an artist, God forbid, an artist release cards, right? And I think
I don't see anyone serious that was excited about Jason Derulo or Haktua. Most people thought they were also grifting and cash grabbing. I don't know if that's
FaZe Banks. We were
also
stoked.
Cash grabbing, grifty.
Yeah, that is such a Monday morning quarterback. FaZe Banks was the big thing. Oh my God, FaZe is here. Check it out. Probably nothing's going to be the biggest thing in the world. Like, this was a real discussion 6-7 months ago. Like, we let celebrities come in and do things like that and welcome with open arms. So I think that there's an interesting, if there was a way for people to make money off this, they would be cheering it on. Like, that's the end of the day. That's how people are in this space, I think, sometimes. Like, I think every celebrity that comes in and every like catch, like you're like, oh, people weren't taking Jason Derulo seriously. Multiple interviews through it with him and every other person who is dropping a coin and doing things from large creators in this space and people cheering it on and very cheered on the timeline. I think that there is a weird notion that when people can make you money in this space, we're really excited about it. And when they can't, we're not. In the way that we, like, again, FaZe Banks, like, don't feel great about his involvement and everything he did in this space. Myself included, a lot of people were excited about his entry into the space and how he was promoting it and what he was doing with it. And I think we're quick to jump on people who can make us money. And when it goes the other way, it's sort of like cash grab, grift, don't like this person. I don't know. It's just, I think it's the nature of the space, or at least the timeline for that matter. But I don't think it's super conducive to growth. More positive news, though, to kind of like throw things in a different direction. SEC ruling liquid staking is not falling under securities laws. That's pretty massive. That's pretty massive for the DeFi, right? It's like right now we have a red day. We'll do the daily market update here in a little bit. But I mean, for people who aren't aware, Cap, tell me if I'm wrong because I'm still new to this stuff. I'm going to talk to Beast. Liquid staking is like on Jito. When I deposit my soul and I get a Jito token back, and then I can do things with that Jito token to potentially make it work a little bit more for me. Or Anchor Flow sending me Anchor Flow and I can do something with it. Or the restaking I'm able to do on why am I blanking on my Hyperliquid one that I do it on with right now? My brain is all like jammed out. But trying to get my DeFi spreadsheet up here so I can actually get myself looking at things. Kinetic. My Kinetic. Like, right, I put hype on Kinetic. It gives me a token, and then I can restake that token. So liquid staking is providing another token, but if you lose that token, when you go to swap out, you get less back, is the idea, right?
Yep, exactly. It's staking, except mostly with staking, like if you stake ETH, your ETH, it's just locked up. You can't, you're earning, I don't know what it is now. You're on a validator like 3-4%. But it's locked up. You can't do anything with it. Liquid staking, you would get a comparable. So if you stake 1 ETH, you're going to get, depending on where you're staking it at, on Lido, I think it's STE. You can use that in DeFi. You could use the collateral, your liquid staking tokens in whatever you want to earn additional yield on top of retaining liquidity from your original token that you're staking. To your point, if you play around and you lever up and you lose it, or you lose half of it, when you go back, you're only going to get half of what you staked.
So it's like, it's like the way I always try to break this thing down really simply. So imagine that you have 5 bananas and you trade them for 5 apples, and they give you 5 apples, and you can always trade those 5 apples back to get your 5, or you get, let's make it really simple. You have 1 banana, you trade for 1 apple. You can always trade that apple to get that banana back. And there's someone who says, hey, if you put your apples over here, you can make it 2-3 apples. Awesome. Then you come back and you can take those 2-3 apples and get 2-3 bananas. But if you go and put your apples over there, and let's call it protocol risk, right? The contract getting hacked or something, and a raccoon breaks in and eats your apple, you go back, you're not trading any apples for bananas, your bananas are lost and they now own your bananas. That's the idea of liquid staking. Did that make sense? Did that follow kind of, sort of? Yep. I could probably workshop that one a little bit, but that one's going on the timeline, something to that degree. I'm trying to like work on these things because I've been thinking about how to make this stuff more understandable to people. And liquid staking is a really confusing concept. But I'm going to probably like throw that one out today for a little bit of workshopping and see what people are doing. By the way, when I throw stuff on the timeline, my engagement is up. I realized Kaido is somehow optimizing replies. There are people farming replies to my tweets now because I'm a Kaido top whatever tweeter, which I'm not even that good of a tweeter. Everybody's got way more yaps than me. I'm getting mad, not even bots, just people trying to farm in the replies. And I've seen people hitting on these people. I'm like, no, let these people pump up my post. If these people are setting notifications and replying to me, these people are my kings and queens of the timeline, and I will respond to all of them. Someone's like, you're responding to a bot. I'm like, maybe. So we shall see. But speaking of DeFi, I see Jambert saying I jumped into Flow. This got me excited, and the name sounded familiar, and it clicked that this was the chain Top Shot was on. I had fun with Top Shot a while back. opened a few packs and got all commons. As a basketball fan and sports collector, I dig it. I'll be revisiting Top Shot thanks to Steve. There goes my wallet. Haha. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that and send it to my friends over the Flow, because I'll tell you what, say what you want about Flow. We talked about them on the show the other day. I had 4 team members DM me and say, hey, what's up? How can I help? If you ever need to talk more, any feedback. So they're trying to make a comeback, and they have some DeFi platforms. I mean, a couple more now, and I'm out there earning. So pretty excited for it. But yeah, I don't know. So the liquid staking, not a security. I mean, any other thoughts other than said it?
They're just going to send the ETFs. You can send them. TradFi's coming. TradFi's coming for your ETH, coming for your Solana as soon as that gets approved. And very, very bullish.
Very bullish. I also think the Jamber thing is interesting when you talk about Flow, because I wonder how many people are so hurt by Top Shot because they did oversupply, but the market also got too hot. I think there was a bunch of speculative crypto gamblers who ran stuff up. It's a fun product, but they didn't deliver on certain things we wanted them to deliver on. Like the Cool Cats, set is going to hurt a lot of people, yourself included. But I wonder how many people are open to be like, oh, okay, like I can go back to that, because Jamber just basically was like, oh yeah, I like Top Shot. I think the people who got really deep into it might not. I think a lot of the people who are casual might be more open to being like, oh, okay, I recognize that. Maybe there's something still there. Because that market's normalized quite a bit. There's also ways, I got to look into this. There are ways to like somehow stake your Top Shot moments and get some sort of points yield, etc. So I got to dig more into that.
I'll be right back. What I told you earlier, I just need probably a few minutes of air cover here.
Right on. While Cap goes out, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different here. With no prep whatsoever, I am going to do the daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next.
Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
Time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. And I am winging it here because I've never done a daily market update before, but I am the captain now, so we will go through it. Looking at 24, actually, I'm going to share my my coin Gecko to start, because I know Cap usually goes on Mintify, gets on the coiners on there, but looking at coins, down and generally red across the board. We'll give it a couple zooms so people can see a little better who are watching on stream. Bitcoin down just almost flat, I guess, on the day. ETH down about 1%. XRP down 3 points. Oh, good. Tether, the stable coin, is even on there. Solana down about 2%, as my pools are telling me. Not a ton of big movers on the day. I will say, though, when you look at, I got Rect coin and some things in my portfolio. Rect, in the past week, well, everything is down. So look at the 7 days. We got Bitcoin down 3%, ETH down about 4.5%, Solana down 8.5%, Hyperliquid down 11.5%. My Pengu is down 13% and hurting. My Flow is down 7.2%. And Rect just sitting here up 21%. No big deal. Continuing to pull through. I wonder how long until a Van Eck or a traditional business sees that, because feels like there's probably some opportunity sitting in there. My Pirate token also down 9%, but that had shot up quite a bit from when ICO Beast got hired. Gonna go to OpenSea and look at the trending. Actually, I'm gonna go to my friends at NFT Floors. I'm just totally going rogue this morning because, again, Cap, we do the Mintify thing normally, but I love NFT Floors. They jump in the mentions sometimes, much like our friends over at Newt, the meme coin of choice for me on Abstract, because they're so kind. Again, 24-hour volume, not a ton there. Bored Apes actually up a little bit. Now $43,000 floor on Bored Apes. I remember I was benchmarking them around 30, so 43 is pretty good. Pudgy Penguin sitting at about a $50,000 floor at 14 ETH, pretty flat. CryptoPunks relatively flat. Squiggles, I'll tell you what, I looked at Squiggles when Squiggles were, say, like 2 ETH or something, and was like, man, I wish I had 2 ETH to buy a Squiggle. not super stoked about not doing that. Now they're at 16th, one of my favorite collections. I will own one one day. That is a goal. Lil Pudgy's up a little bit as well. Mutant Ape Yacht Club trading in kind with Bored Ape Yacht Club up to 1.76 ETH with Ape Fest pending in the next couple of months. Moonbirds down a little bit after receiving their airdrop. That's a conversation for when Cap gets back. I have on my list that Moonbirds continue to eat. I need to move my Mythic to my hot wallet because I missed an OpenSea crate because it's in my cold wallet. Not great. I missed the Towns airdrop because I didn't register. That was just me being a dum-dum. And apparently this Mon, you're able to collect some Monad by having it in your wallet. And so I don't connect my cold storage wallet to anything. That's where my Mythic is. So probably make a move out of there in the next couple of days as well. Mad Lad's actually still trading strong at around the price of a Mutant Ape, which is a fun one as well. Meebit's relatively flat. VFriends down a few percentage, but VFriends continues to cook quite a bit. Still surprised Taproot Wizards have managed to make a recovery based on everything we know about them. And that was a daily market update powered by ApeCoin. Once again, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing fun, culture, and community to the blockchain, and new hires, including our Simple Farmer friend, who is now their head of DeFi. Looking forward to seeing what he cooks over there as I get into my DeFi world. I am slowly having a spreadsheet that is harder and harder to babysit. Most of the stuff is set it and forget it, but babysitting that spreadsheet is definitely getting a little more cumbersome as time goes on, and we keep an eye on that. But daily market update there brought to you by ApeCoin. Again, I'm going to comment on the liquid staking thing again, just because I'm super excited about directionally where the SEC is going. I mean, we're having them drop inquiries against major companies. We're having them give guidance that NFTs are not inherently securities. We're having them give guidance that liquid staking is not generally securities, which is hilarious because it makes so much sense. Because if there's anything, if you think about sort of the Howey test elements, if you're not familiar with the Howey test, that's sort of how they judge a security based on a it's based on like I think a 60-year-old ruling that had to do with citrus groves, which is kind of a hilarious thing. But basically, there's an investment of money, expectations of profit on the investment, common enterprise, and it's based on the actions of other people. This is what it is. If there's anything that's not based on the actions of other people, it would be liquid staking, right? Because the idea of that is, and people could argue a baseball card is security, right? Because it's based on the actions of the baseball player you hold. And that's sort of one of the arguments that happened in front of Congress. But when you look at those elements, investment contract of investment of money, so you buy something, expectation of profits, you're basically thinking that you're going to make more money on it. It's by a common enterprise, so there's one controller there, and then that person can control whether your money goes up or down. This is the big argument around NFTs being securities and everything else. The problem is it's so many other market factors that play into it. And in a lot of ways, a lot of things could play into securities that, again, a baseball card, traditional collectibles, all those different things, which get excluded ultimately from the Howey test, right? And I think that's an interesting discussion to be had overall. But liquid staking not falling under that makes, first of all, I think we need a new definition, because I don't think when we were ruling on orange groves in like the 40s or 50s or whenever that happened, I don't remember exactly when it was, I don't think people were considering blockchain technology and the internet as a place where things can be bought, sold, and traded. I don't think they're considering things like video game assets. But again, liquid staking, this is one of those ones that kind of sat in limbo because people were sitting there saying this could be security. And I'm like, liquid staking is the most in your control thing because you're the one who could be stupid or smart with the money, right? Like, I liquid stake my Anchor Flow. I have my Anchor Flow. I leave it there. It just earns yield. My Kinetic, I got the liquid staking, which gets me a small percentage, and then I redeploy it on the Kinetic site, and I'm getting an extra percentage on yield on it. So I think all of those things are important to think about. And I think the big overview I would give people on this, which I think is pretty noteworthy, is I got in this argument forever ago where I said, I had this hot take. This is probably like 3-4 years ago when it was the hottest of takes, that regulations and guardrails are a good thing. And I got a lot of people who are decentralization maxis being like, no, the regulators are just coming to, are just going to ruin our bags and decentralization and Bitcoin's replacing money and all these things. And my answer was like, look, I understand the perspective. I'm not a decentralization maxi. I know a lot of people are. My general perception on it is that I see this as technology that can empower the world at large to be more connected. I see the opportunity with money to be taken across borders, right? Like if you're in a country, like I hear stories from relatives and friends who have left countries of unrest, and the government takes all their belongings before they leave. You start over. A world where your money is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, and you can cross a border and it's still there if you can remember a 12 or 24 word phrase. A world where your teaching degree is on chain. So if you have a teaching degree in a developing world country, and you can show, yeah, I was a teacher here and I have this degree or I have this certification that exists in this country or I've done this thing, having that in the blockchain is huge. Work credentials, etc. So that was always my perspective on the blockchain and how it operates in general. So regulations and actual fence to work in is what large companies work for. I've worked for a lot of large companies. I think about DraftKings. DraftKings got one lawsuit and said, we're not going to fight this thing. We're going to leave because we're going to spend millions upon millions of dollars on lawsuits. And by the way, the government is telling us this isn't going to go in our favor. So putting things like those regulations in place, to me, are really beneficial because now large companies are saying, yeah, let's get involved with stablecoins. Traditional finance is saying, yeah, let's get involved with liquid staking. Let's get involved with ETFs. And the more fence posts that are put in place, the more traditional businesses will use this technology, the better it is for the tech and for America, frankly, who is, again, our largest industry is tech. I got mad at, Elizabeth Warren. Again, love that people call her Beth in the comments. I got mad at Beth Warren, who is saying like how bad the Genius Act is. And it's like, look, the top 5 most valuable companies in the world are US-based tech companies. The next wave of tech is coming through AI and coming through crypto. If you want to put barriers up while the rest of the world works on that, be my guest, but that's going to cook America if you do it that way. So I don't know, not a big fan of Beth and what she decided to do and her comments there. But when I see the liquid staking ruling, regulations, discussions, and guardrails are a good thing, Cap. So I know you're back in the saddle now. Yeah.
Simply there's no way forward. We don't get this institutional adoption without regulations.
No company is going to operate here unless we have those in place. So I thought that was a great thing, bigger than people maybe realize, because that is because the other thing is like, liquid staking is a complicated concept. So just the fact that we're having that discussion, I think is pretty huge in general. So excited about that. A couple of things on the list, and then I kind of want to see where you're at. Obviously, market's down. We talked about all the red. Trump basically goes on this tariffs, yes, tariffs, no, back and forth volatility rant. Honestly, as long as it goes within the range of my liquidity pools, this is all good for me.
Steve's a chop enjoyer.
Yeah. I used to be an up-only guy. Now I am a chop enjoyer as I continue to get more involved with this and wanting to get more. Today, one of my missions is, and I think it exists, I need to figure out how I bridge my Bitcoin into UBTC, because I don't want to sell my Bitcoin into ETH, take that ETH, make it UBTC. I don't want to get really crazy about it. So I'm looking for the proper bridges, because I want to open some ETH BTC liquidity pools, some maybe BTC USDC liquidity pools, and maybe even some, and do a little bit of that. Maybe even some UBTC hype liquidity pools, because I want to get involved in Project X a little bit now. So I will say liquidity pools require a little more babysitting, although I tend to do bigger steps, as they're called on Meteor, or wider ranges to try to let them trade. But it's funny how I used to root for, up only number, and now the chop gets me the fees, and I just sit there and let them collect. So doing a little chopping.
Not the worst. I mean, good way to make. There's ways to make money in every market, Steve. They say.
Yeah, and LPing is one of those ways, which we'll talk about more. Again, I pinned it to the top. Doing the space with Beast on Friday. All are welcome, whether you're really an expert or you're really just beginning. I guess like Cap, one of the things that was really funny to me was the amount of DMs I got. I put out that thing where like I have an embarrassing confession. Like I have been too confused, too embarrassed, too lazy to ask questions about DeFi, and I'm finally starting to get involved. I got a lot of DMs from a lot of people who you might not expect who had no idea how to do it either. And we're like, yeah, I'm too afraid. And people start using language and I just nod my head. I think there's a lot of people out there who are in our space who don't understand this. And it's just an opportunity.
Yeah. Just, I continue to become a big Tom Lee fan. He's out there pumping our bags once again. His most recent statement 6 minutes ago, there are many wishing they took a sizable bet on Bitcoin in 2017 when it was under $1,000. It's now $114,000. ETH having this exact moment in 2025. And it's this sort of stuff that I do believe could absolutely send ETH. I mean, I'm bullish on it for many reasons, but as this stuff moves forward, and there'll be others. I don't think it's just ETH, but ETH wins. Like the thesis is playing out, and I think price action value will accrue. I don't know, man. I am back on my ETH bull band.
Yeah, which is fun. Fun to be ETH bulls, man. It's fun to be on that side of it because ETH is fun. NFTs are fun. The blockchain is fun in the ETH world. And look, Bitcoin's fun. It's boring. Bitcoin's cool. It's just boring. It's not as fun. It's like, you hold it, maybe you LP it, but outside of that, you're sort of not really doing much there. Did you get the Towns drop on the Moonbirds or did you not register?
I'm in there. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I'm not going to complain. I think it's shout out to Spencer. Just proof that founders, leaders, teams can work for their collector and holder bags. And we see a lot of this. And for whatever reason, a lot of them kind of went away from it or some just not. I don't know. I'm grateful for any and all free magical internet money I get. I sent out a tweet yesterday, like make holding assets great again. And Spencer's doing that. So GG to the burb holders. And I did get on the other one. I got 200 Mon yesterday from there was also another.
It's just testnet though, right? So it's not really worth anything.
I mean, I'm fully expecting something to transfer over there.
I need to move my bird to my hot wallet.
I don't have to be 1-to-1, but I think it'll absolutely like the way, like if you've been on Monad and how they're doing it, it's very much like I interpret it as testnet Mon or Moan. I don't know what they're calling it. Is like that's your points for testnet Monad. That will again may not be 1-to-1, but they're done. If they don't reward those testnet users, they've like put a fork in them. Like it's over. Like they won't even get out of the starting block. So yeah, I think that something will come from that for sure. That will be able to sell.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I gotta move by like one thing I don't love about this is like again, there needs to be more like warm wallet and sort of like delegation sort of tools because again, my mythic, I have one mythic, I have one oddity, and they both sit in my cold storage. I love that oddity. I my mythic I like a little bit, but I really like the oddity. I like the Gremlin work. But part of the thing I run into with these is like I didn't get an OpenSea crate. They were a surprise drop. I didn't get the Towns drop, but I think I need to register something, it turns out. And I need to collect this Monad coin, but I basically need to move stuff to my hot wallet to do
Shouldn't
so.
on the Monad. The Monad, I don't think. I mean, maybe so. I don't know. I thought they had a delegation on that one.
I'll double check on what that looks like because that's I was pretty sure they did not. Which if they do have delegation, great. I'd love to claim that. But I don't know that I feel like again, like moving stuff to my hot wallet doesn't feel great. Although I've been increasingly like kind of getting out of a lot of NFTs. Like there's some I want to hold, but they're out of my price range. And I find myself wanting to put my money to work in other places. Like I'm in the communities I want to be in. Like I want to go to Ape Fest. I have my little Pudgy. I have my V friend. Like it's kind of interesting. Like what communities are you even looking at right now in NFTs? Like I think about like NFTs, particularly in the PFP world. Like I know Azuki does some stuff. They have a hot community that a lot of people like, but like I'm not in that one anymore. Is there anywhere that you're looking around right now as far as community stuff goes in NFTs? Like what are you looking at in the NFT world? I feel like in the NFT world, like I might be looking for some art maybe or some things, but like I'm kind of like, I feel like NFTs, we've sort of whittled our way down there. Ape Chain, obviously, like for the low mints and the low cost, right? I mean, like that's something I could play around with all day, and I like that. G's is out there. I have a G's, but like, what NFTs are you really like playing around with right now?
I mean, just the ones I'm in. I'm not looking for anything new, other than unless it can make me money. Like, I'm not looking to collect any art or join a new community. So it's specifically things that
I mean, good vibes. Good vibes, obviously, is awesome. Like that's
yeah, but I'm in. I'm not like looking to, you know, like the ones I'm in. I'm not necessarily looking to exit, but I'm also not. I'm not looking for any new communities or any new art to collect right now.
I've been like tax loss harvesting some stuff. Like I'm probably going to tax loss harvest like my Atom Bomb Squad, which I really do like. But like it's just too sweet of a deal not to when I can just pick something else up off the floor if I really like it. I do like mine in particular, but like, you know, there's certain ones that I hold because I like, but I'm like I strongly considering some of my highest last sales because as I, you know, get airdrops and things and try to like keep my tax burden low, the best thing I can do is sell or even just burn certain NFTs, you know, that I had previously bought that I do not care about. So,
Billy up 10% on the day.
Billy's up. I had not seen that one. I need to.
I'm doing one of the virtual things I got dropped was Glow, GLO, and no idea what it is. So I'm swapping that to Billy right now to qualify for a voyage. There is like 3 hours left on the current voyages I miss for Art Week, I guess is what they're doing this week. So
I like the Art Week. That's fun. At least for me. Like I find that to be like a fun, you know, like but I like that they're at least theming them and doing some different things. I'm curious to see what directions they go ultimately in the future. Like obviously, I think they seem acutely aware this can't last forever. And so I do wonder what we're going to see next from there. But yeah, the Art Week is a fun week, I think for sure. And a lot of them are just like honestly token swaps. Dawn's doing them too. So my wife obviously is on the blockchain. She has NFTs, all this good stuff. She's been doing some things, and she found some Rec coin and some Pangu she had swapped a while ago, and it was way the hell up in one of the. So I think the token swaps are kind of working for me. The NFT stuff gets to be a little grindy, as we've talked about. So I'm curious, like what direction that ultimately goes, and I don't know. I'm just keeping my volume on OpenSea, but I would guess that their end game has to be tokens because that's where the volume is, right?
I mean, probably. I'm guessing the end game is the Everything app on mobile. Everything app as far as buying digital assets. Yeah. I get so mad when I do exactly what they ask and the voyage doesn't work. Like makes me want to scream at OpenSea.
Does it not work over time, or is it just not work immediately? Because sometimes they take a second, but I've literally never had one not work. Like not once.
I've had several. This one you did have to swap on the same chain, and it did finally come through. So I jumped the gun on I was just impatient. But I've had some that didn't work at all. Went back and it never confirmed or never allowed me to claim.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never had that issue once. Like I know that sometimes it takes a second. But I haven't had an issue with the tech on there. For me, the tech has been good. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that one I haven't had issues there. But like, yeah, I mean, look, the activity, I'll be curious where it goes. Like again, because I know a lot of people are starting to say like, look, like this is getting a little long in the tooth. So at some point that becomes, that becomes something that I think we need to really kind of figure out what we're doing there with OpenSea. So, but yeah, I like Art Week. I like getting art. I like they're trying to, give opportunities to new artists. I know Amber Vittori had a mint on there. It's cool to see. So yeah, I mean, artists going to create art and love seeing that on there.
Kind of want to meet it. Back to your earlier question. I've said this for a while. Kind of want a Meebit, kind of want a V1 Punk. Probably not going to get either. I have a feeling Meebits are going to cook here soon. I mean, they're a huge sale overnight. 23 ETH for a Skelly. Big sales like that typically send floors running. So I just don't know, man. Like the things that I want would be like actually looking to collect, and I don't know. Just not at that point of the cycle yet. I'm full risk on, so I'm not looking just to collect things and throw it in a vault and forget about it. Need a few more big dubs before I start doing that.
Yeah, this is the problem I run into is that I
yeah, on the towns thing too. Sorry, Diablito, thanks. You maybe hit on this. You had to create the town wallet. So I logged in, but I didn't create a wallet, which is whatever. They're getting slashed too, by the way. People weren't happy with how they executed the drop.
I did create a Towns wallet. So I logged in, connected my wallets. I had a Towns wallet specifically.
Saw that people couldn't sell. Like you got one shot in this space often, like, especially with stuff like this, like your big moments. Like you don't have just one shot. You can't redo a TGE. You can't flip the ball, man. Like it's just if you don't like I don't have that skill set. It's not something I've ever done before. But if I was launching a token, I would find the best people in the space to launch a token with. Like it's just you can't fumble that. You fumble that, it's like it is worse than shooting yourself in the foot. Like you may never recover. Some do, but few.
Yeah, it is a thing where it's like I don't understand how it happens. You know, it's like there are so many opportunities in this space to get it right, and you see so many people do things wrong. And I mean, we've seen it enough with enough people to be like, what are we doing here, right? And so like I agree with you on that. I don't understand that part of it. But yeah, the Towns launch, look, I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to complain about the Towns launch because I logged in yesterday morning or the day before. I logged in, created the wallet, had everything set up. No airdrop to be had. Fine. I don't care. I think there was a deadline for it. I get it. They got to allocate those, and they need to reward people paying attention. But I did see they were getting some people upset about that. But yeah, Moonbirds got like $1,500 for Moonbird. I don't know how much I faded on my Mythic that I didn't get there. Probably more than I should have. And
$200, but I could be off on that.
How much?
I thought I saw $200, but I could be off.
Yeah, so a couple $100 there, which is again not anything to step over on the sidewalk of. So that wasn't great. So yeah, like I think like seeing that he's delivered that, the Mon, like it's cool to see Spencer delivering some utility to the burbs. You know, it's cool to see that it's working. I don't regret that I sold my burb and ETH when I did, because I mean it was a dead NFT at the time. It wasn't doing anything for me.
I said yesterday, Spencer and Orange Cap Games have delivered more value to Moonbird holders than Cairo did in his entire reign at Proof. On Moonbirds, not on Proof Pass, on Moonbirds specifically.
Man, they dropped him like a several $1,000 oddity that was like a several thousand. I mean, it's a little early to make that call. If you're just talking cash for cash, oddities, and
I guess maybe you could have flipped the oddity at the peak and it would have been more than the airdrops he's got in just a few short months. But
man, I don't know. I gotta look at some other things now, because like I feel like even some of the like people laugh at like the fanny pack things. Like people were selling those for money early on when they were really hot in the streets. Like I wouldn't say there. I'd say that's going to happen. I think that's a way early hot take to call now, specifically when you talk about the oddity itself as being one of the pieces. And I know I'm forgetting. And the Mythics period, right? Mythics were another thing where you could, you got Mythics, you were able to sell those. So I don't think that's the case yet. And that's also like, for the community on aggregate, I think you could say
he's done more than Yuga did when they held him. But I think that was, they never planned to do anything with it. I mean, it was a financial play for them. And in hindsight, looks like a really smart, sound, savvy move. And they also picked up some equity in Orange Cap Games. So it was like, I think win-win-win all around. But as far as like, my point is, and probably ties right back into the Takashi thing. Like part of the beauty of NFTs is who your collectors are. Who your holders are. And I'm not saying just because you buy an NFT, you should get free stuff for life. That's not what I'm saying. There's opportunities in this space to reward your supporters, to reward your collectors. And I feel my feelings as a NFT collector and a holder of many assets since 2021, a lot of the teams just quit. They gave up. They've stopped doing that. Why? I don't know the answer to that. It's not a rhetorical question. I'm curious why teams have stopped working for the free magical internet money for their holders and their collectors. Like, it's part of the beauty. It's part of the stuff you can do here. Like, utility is real. And I don't have expectations of that. But you ask me, like, what NFTs am I looking at? Like, if I didn't hold a rec guy, I'd be buying a rec guy right now.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if there's any utility coming there, but you know what? Their Rect is very clearly a darling of the cycle. It's a winner of the cycle. And that's a team I want to bet on because OSF has continued time and time again to reward his supporters. Like, why did we get away from that, Steve?
I think there's a lot of reasons we got away from that. I think VC money's a big one. Like, when companies have to deliver money back to their VCs.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not even talking about from the company. I'm talking about like third party stuff. Like, Spencer's not giving away this free money.
Right. But like, where are they going to spend their time and money? Right. Like, we talked about this with like, you know, we've talked about this with a lot of different NFT collections. Like, where are they going to spend their time and money and effort? Are they going to spend it on trying to create something that creates money and profitability for...
Do you care about your NFT collection? Because if you want that do you want sales? You want that to go up? Like, people are like, oh, royalties aren't there. Bullshit. Like, we pulled it up last week. Like, Moonbirds is making like 20 grand a month off royalties. That's not nothing. 20 grand a month pays the salary of someone who their sole job is to go out there and find collaborations, partnerships. Dude, we did it for DGen. We didn't have a budget. We stopped doing it at DGen. So blame us. Like, we're part of the problem. We used to go get airdrops and things for our holders and whitelists, allow lists, and like the industry has just shifted away from that. I'm not expecting companies to keep giving me free stuff for life, but I do think there's a massive opportunity that exists. Spencer just proved it. It doesn't have to be just the Kaido leaderboard. It doesn't have to be just Yap to get the next allocation. These protocols, they want good communities. Anyone that's still around and building in this space since 2021 probably has a good community base. These chains, these protocols, Monad wants the Moonbird holders in their ecosystem. It's probably not the only collection, but you know what? Monad's probably not have someone that's doing outreach on their end to find, hey, who can we give free money to? But if you take a little bit of effort and reach out to these protocols, reach out to these chains launching, you can strike deals. Like, it's very much possible, and it costs the company nothing. Do they have to have someone working on it? Sure. Maybe it could be the founder, the president, or the CEO, or you reinvest a little bit of the royalty money you're making, you hire someone, and you make that their job. Because these people, by the way, they'll do the job for a portion of that free allocation. If I got 50 allow lists, I got 50 white lists, they get one because they're the person who did the deal. Or you give them $2,000 a month. Like, it's not. You're not going and paying these people $250,000 a year to do collaborations in crypto.
To your point, because I'm trying to unpack the why and answer the question. And I think I need to do more thinking on it. Like, I think teams are trying to pay back VCs. I think they're trying to build certain products. And I think they'll say, like, well, that's the priority right now. Like, that's the thing we got to do to be successful. Because, like, if you think about it, like, they get some royalties, but their NFT collectors getting rewarded and eating doesn't really do anything for them outside of and I agree. To me, it's like almost like PR, where I would get a story in the Wall Street Journal and I might get somebody at Progressive Insurance being like, how many insurance policies did they sell? And it's like, that's not the point. And I think a lot of people in the leadership positions and engineering people might say, oh, we got this airdrop for our holders and we spent all this time and energy on it and it didn't do anything for us. Maybe it even moved the floor, but we barely got any royalties off that. But if we spend the money over here, we can make profitability for the company. I think that's probably the trade-off that's happening. But to your point, why in this time, with all of these protocols and everything launching on all these different Kaido leaderboards and whatnot, how is it possible that apes and pudgies and good vibes and doodles, how is it possible that every single one of these projects is not getting the opportunity to get some allocation the way Spencer just did with Towns? Like, how is that? Are the protocols simply not interested because they have other ways of getting people involved?
No, I think they're interested. I mean, You can't tell me that Monad and Towns were only interested in Moonbirds. Like, I just don't buy that for a second. I believe I'm making some assumptions here, so probably good. I'm going to find out. I'm going to tag. What you know the Orange Cap Games handle? I was trying to tag it, but I can't.
I think it's like OCAP Games, but I'm not positive. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not positive.
Yeah, OCAP Games. You're right. Thanks. I am curious. Like, has he hired a collab manager? Like, shout out to Achilles in the chat. It's like they needed to hire one collab manager. That's all. Collab manager is probably the lowest paid position on your team because they will get some of the rewards. That's how you it's like, I bet you could hire a collab manager and pay them zero salary. You could hire a collab manager and their compensation is any collab they get, they benefit from it also. Like, it's not hyperbole. It's real.
It's strange, right? It's very strange. And I feel like, again, like now that I'm sort of getting into DeFi, like the ability to like get people to use a DeFi protocol and like give like a disproportionate airdrop to people who are using it within communities to use it as a lead gen or as a multiplier. It's like, and Somnia is kind of doing this, right? Somnia, like if you hold certain assets, but I mean, Paul was doing a, thing yesterday. I saw Easy share a clip that Paul had shared about, look, like sometimes you got to concentrate on things. I know that our platform could be better to be more user friendly. Like, it's interesting to me. Like, it's interesting to me that they like could be like you're right. Like they absolutely could be doing these things and finding creative ways like to collab with some of these larger protocols and have the opportunity to get you the airdrop as the holder. And it's
in 2021, I don't think they had to do much work. I think then the new protocols were being proactive. I'll speak specifically to apes because it was the golden egg that kept giving last cycle from, I can't even list all of them off, Steve, and I'm not talking like $200 or like, it sounds silly even saying out loud now, but Botto was a 5-figure airdrop. Rulebit, I didn't even do that one. That was a 5-figure airdrop. There was just time and time again, it's like, oh, you held this asset, you get this claim, this reward, this airdrop. And it's just like went away some reason. Now, shout out to those who are like, shout out to Apes Plus. I know I got to give our guy Drew over there a lot of credit. Like they secured the Caldera one. Man, I'm drawing a blank. They secured something else recently as well for ape holders. Like, what happened to that collaboration in Web3? Like, it literally like fell out. Yes, like what NFTs you buying? Well, I am not looking to collect art. I don't need any more communities right now. But if you want to get me to buy an NFT, don't call it a dividend. But like, it's far easy. It's like if you were concerned about giving your holder something free in the past because you might be you might get a Wells notice. Like, it's just a much better environment to do this stuff today than it was in 21, 22, and yet we've went away from it.
Yeah, and it's not like it's diluting the collection at all. Like it's strange, right? It's very strange.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't get it. And I'm again.
There's more opportunity now than ever, too.
And maybe I know part of it's like, oh well, whitelist, allow lists aren't really a thing anymore. Okay, fair. All these like, is it like? I'm not trying to like be like ridiculous, but is it as simple as that focus has shifted so much to InfoFi that like, oh, everyone's just going to do InfoFi. We can't even go ask for allocate. What? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Kaido's not the only game in town. InfoFi is not the only way to, attract new users and new collect. Like, it's just like, it's kind of mind blowing when you think about it. Because it's across the board. It's not just a singular collection. I think why it's coming to top of mind now is because one of the newest leaders in NFT collection, Spencer, who acquired Moonbirds 2 months ago, has done like, okay, maybe it's unfair to say he's delivered more utility and value than Cairo did. I agree. I'm jaded. I'm biased and I don't like Cairo. I think what he did was very awful for the space. That said, I think it's an accurate statement to say in the 2 months that Spencer and Orange Cap Games have owned that collection, they've delivered more value to their holders than any other NFT collection. Is that fair? Is that a fair statement? Like,
I mean,
they're on a very short list, if not the largest.
Yeah, they've been going to work with beyond the shadow of a doubt, right? I mean, like there's no question about it. Like they have been absolutely going to work. So I don't disagree that they've done a lot. I mean, you have to like you said, it feels like they've done more. And I like I'm kind of like hitting the same kind of question as you, where I'm scratching my head. Like there's more opportunity than we've ever had to do this. Like more opportunity than we've ever had.
So Diablito says there was 23 communities on the town's post that could claim. Awesome. Frogs were one. On me. I have a frog that's been staked forever. Didn't know that. I'm you had to clear your wallet, you had to create your town's wallet by July 10th. Apparently I missed that. But of those 23 communities, I'd be curious, how many of them talked about it? Like, did they just do a Discord announcement? Did they talk about it on the timeline? It just seems like it was such a big part of NFT collecting and holding in particular. It was a big part of why you might want to hold this asset that just keeps going up and up and up. Why don't you sell it while it's up 10x? Well, it's because I'm getting a monthly dividend that's worth as much as it's selling for right now. And that's just like all but disappeared. So long way of saying salute to Spencer and Orange Cap Games. I hope they're starting a little bit of revival. Speaking for my bags, it would be great to see some of these NFT collections going to work for their holders again.
You should be tweeting about this. It's a great point. You should be tweeting about this. I don't understand why it's not happening. Like, I agree with you. I don't understand.
I don't tweet about it is because someone will take it out of context. Someone will say, "Oh, I'm Cap's Fudding Apes" or "Cap's Fudding Doodles." I'm sure I get that comment because Doodles haven't done anything for me but give me some free I don't know what do you call the shorts, the clips. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm not taking shots at Doodles, but that's how I think it would be interpreted. If there would be someone in the communities I'm in would be thinking I'm dragging him through the mud. I'm not. I'm just talking at the highest level, the space at large. We went from collaborations and holders benefiting from those collaborations was a pretty big part of the last NFT cycle. I don't know. Don't you think that might lead to a resurgence in NFTs if that came back? And to your point, it's the landscape is better than ever before to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, like the opportunity feels ripe. Like the opportunity feels ripe.
Need a Kaido. Oh, Kaido won. No, they're not the only game in town. Like there's other ways to get allocation that's not just InfoFi.
The opportunity feels as more ripe than ever before to do this thing with all these different protocols. And I don't know
Doodles
why.
Were on the list.
What's that?
Doodles were on the town's list.
Oh, everybody was on the town's list. Like I'm looking at Diablito and he's making me feel dumb because I probably faded like $5,000 or something.
At least $1,000. At least both left $1,000 on the table. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's painful. My point is, and again, like we didn't pay attention to it. That's on us. We get it. Like I'm not like blaming anybody but myself.
Town shows up in this space. They brain account maybe 100 times at this point. Dozens for sure, maybe 100.
But it's
you know what? I will. I'm making excuses now. Here's the list, by the way. Salute, appreciate you doing this. It's awesome. Yuga's on there too.
Okay, but like this was, but to your point that you're saying,
this is actually making me sick now. Seeing all these on here, why? So it's on me. I didn't pay attention. Part of it is because like this hasn't been a thing. We talk about we need to start setting calendars for our new mints. I should also like. I don't know. I don't know the solution. I'm running in circles here, but it's like I haven't been in any of these Discords in months. I'm way too many. It's on me. It's a me problem. I don't know the answer. It's probably the answer is probably like towns. Everyone should just be on towns and get your notifications set up. That's probably the answer. Towns.
Well, I mean, but I'll here's where I'll defend you. This is a towns thing, not a Yuga thing, not a Pudgy Penguins thing, not a Doodles thing, not a Moonbird thing. It is a towns thing. Where towns made this.
And I think why they're getting some flooded because I also know people who joined these gated communities well before July 10th and then they weren't eligible because they didn't create a wallet or something else. So it's just like, I appreciate the effort. I'm not sure it was communicated greatly. I'm saying I'm not sure because maybe it was and I just missed it. I do greatly appreciate the effort. I would love to see more of this.
But again, like, it's not like, I mean, Spencer might have later gotten involved with like that because he may have done the work. Towns, their business model is based on is basically based on having gated communities. So Towns did this. And to your point, it's not that these companies are proactively doing anything, right? Like, I guess the point that you're making is correct in the sense that, like, they're not proactively going out and doing this. Like, Towns did this. And so my question is, like, why?
Sorry.
What's up?
I love our guy Drew. It's been too long since we've had a Drew the Bearman sighting. I just went to the Burbs Towns section. First post I see, it's refreshing. Sorry, first post I see Drew Barman. Am I here? Okay, I'm in. Too late for a token drop. Can I buy my way in? I love our guy Drew.
Yes, I'm here for the gangbang. A little old school reference.
I missed.
You don't remember? That's literally how old school begins. He ends up getting a divorce he ends up walking in on his wife, and the movie Old School. You're not familiar? Not a fan?
I don't remember that's
like the biggest like thing where he like walks in and it's crazy, and then like somebody walks in and a guy walks in after they've had a bunch of conversations, and his wife's he's like, "Yes, I'm here for the gangbang."
So I have a question for Dort. He says, I have Doodles, Chimps, Yuga, etc. in a wallet that connected to Towns a long, long time ago. My question's two questions. Did you enter all those communities? So like I did the same thing, but you actually had to join the community and you had to create the Towns wallet. You couldn't just use your own wallet address. You had to create a new Towns wallet and link it with your other assets. He says, I officially joined the Apes channel, got virtually nothing. And the button to claim with EVM wasn't working for me. I saw a lot of people having that. So it was absolutely a mess. I guess I'll go check again. Again, we can critique the execution. I do appreciate the intent. To your point, Steve, I think it's a little bit of proactive approach from the collections themselves would go a long way, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's my point. Is like Towns is based on this with their business model. They need people there. On the flip side, you know, you look at like forget, Towns, like all these protocols, like why are they not dialing for dollars on these things? Because you could do it. And again, if people are getting airdrops, they're going to want to rock your PFP. They're going to be proud of the community. Like now's probably the time that a lot of these communities can eat again. Like we could have another airdrop season for people with both the free money and getting people using protocols. And I think people aren't taking advantage of getting people with, high net worth individuals who are able, like again, these are people with a lot of money who have the opportunity to get into these protocols. I don't understand why it's not, I don't know. I don't get it. As a side note, OpenSea doesn't have a burn option anymore. I was kind of looking at like trying to burn some NFTs because I was like, like looking at like some that aren't even for sale. Like I think I have a Dogs Unchained I could burn and get a little bit of tax loss harvesting. And I don't even see the option, but anyway, yeah, man, I think it's a good tweet. If you don't put it out, I'm going to. So if you don't have any thought process on it, I'm going to go and cook on that one because I think the Towns airdrop is a noteworthy moment to do it. And, I think it's worth bringing up. So let me know if you're not going to. I'm going to. Are you?
Yeah, I'll fire something. I get some thought to it because I really don't. I'm not trying to take shots. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I also don't want to sound fucking entitled either. Like this isn't like, oh, pay me because I'm holding your asset. It's just it worked. It creates serious momentum. It helps acquire other customers. It introduces it's just. I really am struggling reconciling why we shifted so far away from this model. And maybe I'll do it. Maybe the post will just be very positive and saluting Spencer and the Orange Cap game teams for all that they've done in such a short period of time. And I'd love to see more follow suit again.
I mean, I think honestly, like, I think saying like, I think something like, yeah, man, like, shout out to, not whether it's a shout out to Spencer and Orange Cap Games, or whether it's just say, hey, the Towns airdrop brings up the idea that there is the opportunity to reward communities. And this is something that happened happened regularly. You have a bunch of high net worth individuals or people who are making the choice not to sell a $40,000-$50,000 JPEG. Like, these teams make sense to be on the call with every single person, every single company on the Kaido leaderboard, and was like, hey, how about you get our community involved and find a way to do that? And I think that there's probably a way to do that for holders. And like, yeah, like, obviously, like, we would love this for our bags, but like, it's not even necessarily about the bags. It's just like, if you are a company, I'm just thinking from a company standpoint. If I'm at one of these major PFP companies, whether it's a Good Vibes, a Yuga, a Bored Ape, on one hand, you don't want to create the expectation that this is going to happen forever. On the other hand, you probably want your holders rocking your PFP and talking about how great your community are and how hard they work for you. And so I think that there's probably something there. So
Zane found there is a collab manager for Orange Cap Games. It's Sneaker Dad, had a BD in partnerships at Orange Cap Games. Well done, Sneaker Dad.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I had that on my list. I think the only other thing I had on my list was I didn't know if you wanted to go off on your, I'm cool to Cap because that's kind of my Web3 news, but I'm also, if you have anything else. Well, what else do you have on your list before I move forward?
A couple things real quick. The numbers here too are wild. I don't know if this is accurate, but someone says holding just one mythic in my Towns wallet got me 0.44 ETH or $1,600.
That can't be right because it was 1,500 for one Moonbird.
Yeah, maybe just misspoke. More banker bot money coming in from our guy Meta8. Appreciate you. You're a real one. Send us $5 worth of Tiny on Unichain. It might be my first holdings on Unichain, Steve. I don't think I have anything else over there. Unichain from the one and only Uniswap. Two quick ones. The second one might not be so quick, might be some conversation. First one, though, sponsor, friend of the show, our friends over at ApeChain Hub just updated their bio. I don't know if you saw this little new addition here. It says, our mission is to supercharge ape ecosystem by supporting high quality builders and reinforcing 3 core pillars. Sorry, Ape Coin account. Excuse me, I misspoke. The Ape Coin account is reinforcing 3 core pillars: ApeChain, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and other side. That's a new addition. That just there, the addition of the Bored Ape Yacht Club on the ApeChain or ApeCoin bio. And I wouldn't say it couldn't exist, but I do agree with Marcel's take here that the Bored Ape Yacht Club members in the ecosystem are very much a core part of ApeCoin and ApeChain. And it could exist without the Bored Ape Yacht Club members. It would be a fraction of what it is in terms of engagement and participation, et cetera, et cetera. Like the club does absolutely support ApeChain. And I think a lot of the collections have had success over there as a direct result of that. And this is also something like easy. Now, we have got, like, I got a Minotaur for holding an ape. I got that on ApeChain. Like, that just seems like such an obvious connection, right? Like for Yuga specifically to do, talking here, to reward their holders with ApeChain collections and such, other side stuff. Maybe we see more of that. I hope so. I do want to stress, so it's not just Yuga, it's not just ApeChain. I think there's massive opportunity to lean back into this. The other thing I wanted to share, or any quick comments on that, and I'll go to the other topic.
No, I agree. Like, I think sometimes people take stuff out of context. And to your point, like, this isn't like knocking any one chain or one individual group of people. It is very much about like the opportunity that exists for all of these collections, in my opinion, similar to what you're saying. Like, I wholeheartedly agree that there is massive opportunity for all of these like protocols. Like, and again, it's not like we're trying to be greedy and be like, we're entitled, give me free money. Like, this is not what we are saying by any means whatsoever. So I don't want to
like everybody though. I wouldn't be mad if you did, but I'm not acting like I deserve it. I would like it.
Right. It's not a matter of entitlement. Like, I deserve free money. It's if you want people to rock your PFP and brag about your community and kind of have the best lead gen you can do, the best opportunity you can find is simply getting airdrops for your community and people getting excited about it. It's as simple as that. And I think that, like, again, it's not a matter of entitlement. It's not a matter of like, we believe we deserve whatsoever. It's just, we're talking about the business of NFTs and not just our bags. Like, again, I have one Mythic. So if Moonbirds were to do the same thing, fine. It's, I just think that there's so much opportunity there that exists for like when you look at the Kaido leaderboard and people just shilling out money, it has nothing to do with us thinking we deserve this. And like, I don't want to be misconstrued. It has nothing to do with these teams aren't good. In fact, I think in the bear market, it was hard to get airdrops. And that was part of the reason the music stopped for a lot of people. But it has everything to do with the fact that now the opportunity is there. Why not jump on it if you are a builder or someone who is creating in this space, who has a collection? Because the amount of on-chain wealth you have through Bored Apes, Pudgy Penguins, Moonbirds, Good Vibes Club, Doodles, like somebody could be on the phone with, like, I would call up every single company on Kaido and just say, how can I get involved with you? And how can I get my holders moving in your direction? And then pick your favorites to collab with. Because InfoFi wise, like, they're going to get the InfoFi points who are from being in your community. So they're going to get an airdrop. They're going to talk about it. Number one. You're going to get users who are talking about it without having to do the InfoFi. So it's going to juice that up a little bit. And all you need to do is allocate another portion of your airdrop. Like, it makes sense for all of these companies to want to do this. So yeah, Cap, you got to get this out there, because if you don't, I'm getting all geared up about it. I didn't think about it till you said something today.
Yeah, definitely something here. Shout out again to Meta 8. Appreciate you. And we do. I got one other thing, and then we got to get a quick market update in as well. But
I do the market update while you're out. We're covered.
Oh, sweet, awesome, appreciate it.
It was poor. It was not good.
I'm going to KYC today. Do my first. Speaking of Kaido, I'm going to do my first Kaido launchpad. Are you familiar with Billions? Billions Network. So it's
can you do it in the US?
We'll find out. I've not KYC'd yet. I'm gonna do it today, and then once I KYC, I'll find out if I'm eligible in the US. They're raised. They're targeting 5 million plus, valuation at 200 million. So if you remember, the last two, Espresso didn't have as much success at the $400 million valuation. They also locked up 50%, where Theoric was fully unlocked at TGE, and it was at a $75 million valuation. This one raising at a $200 million valuation, targeting 5 million. Got 835,000 in right now. 75% unlock at TGE. 75% unlock at TGE. 25% unlock at TGE. 12 months after TGE. Lead investor Polygon, and not only is Polygon a lead investor, if you look at Billions, it's being verified as the new superpower in AI era. I just found this morning, so I've just started skimming it. But essentially, they're calling it the first universal human and AI network infrastructure for trusted interactions between humans and AI agents. Problem we're solving: identity fraud is responsible for 30 billion in losses annually. Every day, people unknowingly interact with deepfake bots and inauthentic accounts. I agree; it probably becomes worse as more AI agents get out in the wild. So, long story short, though, without getting, I'll pin this up top if anyone wants to read further. But the big thing I wanted to point out was their team. Sandeep, who is the founder of Polygon, is actually on the team. So core team, they've got.
Is he still at Polygon?
He's CEO of the foundation.
Yeah. So, but he's actually like on another launch team.
Yep, on a team that Polygon's investing in. He's going to be heading up their growth. They've also got Coinbase Ventures, Polygon, Liberty City, Bitcraft, and Polychain Capital. I don't know. I'm just finding out. I'm going to do some more research later, but I'll likely throw a little bit at this. It just do your own research, not financial advice. It very well, your investment could, $200 million valuation is not nothing. And this thing could open at, sub 100 million, and you're down half your money. So there's a chance I also look further and I end up not doing it, but the Polygon tie-in, them being lead investor, and Sandeep being on the team, that was enough for me to at least want to take a further look at it. And
Yeah.
I got to do the KYC. Just so I have that done on the Capital Launchpad.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That's yeah, man, that's interesting. I hadn't. I mean, I'm not gonna play around on Launchpad, but I would love the feedback. I'm glad you're doing it to play around and kind of see what that looks like. So report back for sure on what your findings are on the Launchpad, and then
Unichain BankerBot integration just got deployed yesterday, so that is cool. That's what we got the Unichain tip there. And then laid back data also says all burbs got the same drop. OGs and mythics got 0.44 East.
God damn, man. I'm down horrendously on that one right then on that because
I too missed it because I didn't link a wallet because of lack of info or paying attention. I'll say I didn't do it because I didn't pay attention. I knew it was coming. I saw the thing, didn't realize I had to take a couple other steps. Thought I would just be good for holding my mythic, and
I need push notifications.
I'm not blaming. I'm well done from Spencer and Sneaker Dad. Is that what I said? Well done, and I'll take blame for missing it on my end.
Oh, I blame no one but myself. I more find myself sitting here saying, that's hilarious. I didn't realize Polygon had a leaderboard on Kaido. I now rank on the Kaido Polygon leaderboard apparently. From one tweet. So there you go. Is Polygon actually are they giving something away? Is this my first Yap earn? Sorry. I'll look into it. Oh man. Dude, I'm gonna be talking Polygon, I think, a little bit here.
So last thought on this, sorry to keep jumping back and forth, but I just my X feed must be listening to us because it says this just was served to me right at the top of my X feed when I refreshed. And he said it yesterday night. So last night, Spencer said, great day for burbs overall. The Towns Protocol airdrop was huge for a bunch of people. That being said, it was also a miss for many others. It was a third party, so some of it was out of our control. Others, we should have done better. Lots more to come and opportunities to improve.
But
guys saying all the right things, man.
I'm not entitled or complaining about this thing. So I want to be clear on this. I don't think I deserve anything. Cap and I 100% honest. We're saying that. So
I would have taken the 0.44 ETH though.
Off the table on that. That said,
I would have sold all the towns. So I wouldn't have staked it. I would have just ripped the Band-Aid off and.
Oh, me too. And so I don't blame them for not giving it to us and our greedy asses in that part.
That's why some people like Dort said earlier is they even work? These airdrops don't even work anymore. Or are they just all instant dumping the vast majority of the time? Not sure you see the advantages of the alignments.
I'll give Dort the advantage of the alignments. Now that I've been doing DeFi for 5 days, so certified expert. I'm not. That's the whole point of this thing. I think with DeFi options, getting people onto those protocols and explaining how and why you should, and including them in airdrops as a bonus, have it be beneficiary where it's yeah, not only do we have a good pool, but you're part of the airdrop. And oh, by the way, holding these assets gets you a bonus. Because people ask me, when I started talking about DeFi, why use one pool over another pool? Why I would go and use Meteora over, I don't know, Beefy, I think was one of the other ones. I can't remember what all the ones you were looking at. Or why I would use, certain hype ones over EtherFi. And the answer is they've got an airdrop coming, right? There's an extra incentive there. Well, if you have an ape or you have a bird or you have a penguin and a liquidity provider, like a liquidity pool, like Meteora says, oh my God, you can connect obviously they're not going to be EVM because they're Solana based, but it's if you have a Bodoggo on Meteora, you're going to get an extra boost of some sort come airdrop time, however they need to say that legally. Well, more Bodoggos are going to go over there and use it, and they're going to keep their money staked on there. And so, and also, by the way, I don't know. There's a whole nother topic of why I think, I don't know. I'm probably going to talk about Bodoggos having a tangential version of your thing where I think if I were a company like a Meteor or whoever, I would be trying to work with the Bodoggos to try to drive people over there because they have the ability to pump the bags. But whole nother story. Tomorrow, I want to talk real estate a little bit with you because I want to maybe even cold open with that because it's a financial thing. It's a thing that's on your mind. So I want to talk a little bit of real estate. But one last call to action. Well, what's that?
The bubble's popping.
Yeah. So I want to talk that. One last sort of call to action on again, like for people who are here, like Friday, 10 a.m. right after the show on Friday, ICO Beast and I are going to rip live and do some DeFi beginner stuff. So want to get people out there and
look at ICO fucking grifting off of our audience. 250 members here at 10 o'clock this morning. So tell ICO he owes us 10% of whatever he gets from his InfoFi partnerships.
You know, he's crushing, man. And Proof of Play, obviously big fan of them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that and starting to do that. And again, probably diving into more stuff. I'm trying to do some like real planning of like what my content looks like in the future, because I'm trying to optimize my time. I'm trying to optimize what I'm doing. And I think there's some real opportunity here, like you said, to explain things in a very simple way. So any other things on your tick list before we let everybody get out of here?
I think we hit it. We did have Jay jump up on stage. Jay, I don't know if we got a quick one here. We're going to shut things down, but GM and go ahead and get in here if you got something. What brought you up? Smoking Jay going once, going twice. Nope.
Sold. Well, I got to go. I got some Polygon tweeting to do apparently, because I'm 68 on the Polygon leaderboard, and I think on the 30-day leaderboard they award top 50 getting some sort of allocation. I didn't even know Polygon was on Kaido, and looks like that's a good look. So love to see that. And love to see Polygon getting a little bit of love there on the leaderboard, and yeah, gonna maybe continue to pump that a little bit, not inorganically. I'm only going to talk about things I truly care about, but I might. It's interesting. This is an interesting area where Kaido is going to inspire me to dig a little more, because I simply put out a tweet just basically talking about the different things that Polygon and Flow are doing and why they're underrated, and was good enough to jump me up. So might play around there, but. That said, Cap, let's send everybody off into their day. Appreciate everyone coming through this morning. No Bunchu tomorrow because he's busy, but we will still probably talk some AI. We will be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.